Evening, lads. Evening, lads. Sorry about the wait. Yeah, I had a few little technical issues I had to sort out, but we're good to go. Let's get talking. Let's live stream. Was gonna do one of these tomorrow as well. Definitely gonna do one of these tomorrow as well. Just so you know, we're gonna ring in the new year in style. We're gonna ring in the new year talking about boxing. So let's get a few people in the chat. I will see how we get on. We'll see what we do. We see how long we go. We do about an hour or so. We had a few guys in the building. How we go and we talk about Luke Campbell versus Ryan Garcia. We got Ioka versus Tanaka. It's actually like, if you think about January, right, as a boxing fan, normally we don't have a good. Normally, boxing in January, Jesus, it's normally not good, lads. It's normally like we don't get many fights. We don't get many good fights or anything like that. But this year, man, they are starting out swinging. Boxing definitely in a good place. Well, it's in a much better place than it was, lads. I'll tell you that. Boxing, remember boxing back in March, April? Man, that was in a bad spot. That was in a real bad spot. Big John, this would be a great fight. Will and all. It will. I've already sent my predictions off in the prediction league this week. I've already given my 2 cents on it. Looking forward to this fight. I'll touch on my prediction in a little bit because I haven't done a full-blown breakdown prediction video. I'm probably going to record that actually straight after I finish this live stream. So like, I'll just give you my actual prediction on this fight. I'll go in depth a little bit on it, and then I'll let you know. But I want to talk about I want to actually ask the guys in the chat what they're thinking. But anyway, big up to Helen every time. G-Man's rocks, of course. G-Man's rocks. Big up to Nick Harmer every single time. Shout out to you, mate, every time. Big up, G-Man. I'm helping my son, so stop to smash the like button. Big up, Nick. Big up. Stop to smash the like button. I'll do the same on the way in. Lads, if you could smash the like button on the way in, be much appreciated. It'd be seriously much appreciated. Help your channel grow. Help get the YouTube algorithms looking after me and recommending my channel a little bit more. As well it does, man. Big up to Rich. Big up G-Man. G-Man's rocks. Eddie 2017. Evening, G-Man. Good evening, everyone. Big up. JPK World. Yes, yo, G-Man. Got Reese. G. Dwan. Probably butchering that. Merry Christmas to G-Man. There we go. Merry Christmas to G-Man. It actually wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. You know, I got to go out. I got to go out just on Christmas Eve. Didn't get to a pub or anything like that. Pubs are 2019. They're so 2019 pubs. I mean, going out with your mates to a pub or going to a nightclub, that's 2019, isn't it, lads? That's what you did in 2019. Or 2020, you don't do that. Or 2021, hopefully we will. Big up to Dean. I think you mean Story all, but yep. Big up to Devin every time. Yes, lads. Hashtag G-Man's rocks. Big up to Devin every single time. If you could jab that like button, it'd be much appreciated. Right. So I want to know your guys' prediction, right? I want to know what you guys think is going to happen in this fight, right? Now, Ryan by late stoppage, right? I was thinking about that, to be honest with you. I was thinking Ryan by late stoppage. The only thing is, and Mark correctly pointed this out to me, Unrivaled Boxing, big up to him, is that we don't know how good Garcia's stamina is. Now, I suspect it's probably okay. I suspect the stamina is decent, but he's only been 10 rounds twice. All right? He's never gone. I think he's been in scheduled 12 rounders, but he's not officially gone to 12 rounds, right? So, if he doesn't get rid of Luke early, I'm not saying that he's going to necessarily lose the fight, but if he doesn't get rid of Luke early, I suspect that his stamina might not be the best going late in the fight, if you know what I mean. So I'm starting to think now myself that, okay, the late stoppage is probably not going to happen for Garcia. I was originally thinking that, genuinely, Devin, I was actually thinking 11th round. But then Mark pointed that out to me, and I was like, I think you might be right. Rampage Ryan's predictions for Garcia, Campbell. Campbell wins by late stoppage. I think lads, I could be wrong with this, right? I think Sky have Luke Campbell listed as the favourite, right? On this, they've Luke Campbell listed as the favourite. You got Campbell by late stoppage, Campbell late. Obviously, Devin reckons Ryan by late stoppage. Luke Campbell is a good test. Luke Campbell's an excellent test, right? Luke Campbell is an excellent test. Monster here says, we're going to see if Ryan is the real deal or a hype job. Shocked at how overlooked Campbell is being for this. You see, I think the opposite, to be honest with you. I think that the majority of people I've seen have been picking Luke Campbell. Funnily enough, the overwhelming majority of people who I've seen, neutral observers of this fight, have all been picking Luke Campbell. I was one of the very few from the start who was giving Ryan Garcia a really, really good chance in this fight. So, I maybe just the casual. See, you got to remember, Ryan Garcia's got a big, big fan base. So maybe in the States, they're just looking at it as like, yo, that's the guy Lomachenko beat, our boy Ryan. Because if you go on Instagram, he's got like over 1 million followers, the guy does. It's crazy the amount of followers he has, actually. But Dean O'Donnell's comment, I will read that now in a sec, but I want to touch on Garcia Campbell first. Garcia on points, Bruce Lee says. Galaxy says rounds 1 to 6, Ryan. Round 7 to 12, Luke. It won't be that straightforward. I would, if something like that happened, I couldn't imagine them just calling it like that. They'd obviously, I reckon they'd be giving Ryan the benefit of the doubt in some of the rounds. If there's any rounds close, I suspect Ryan will get those rounds. Reese thinks that Garcia wins. Controversial points, or potentially a flash knockout after being behind in the fight. What else we got? Toby reckons that Ryan controversial split decision. It seems to me that a lot of people who are going with Ryan Garcia are going with decision, but they reckon controversial. Now, I'll give you my prediction. In fact, I'll tell you exactly the round, because if we basically, right, what we do here is, right, with the prediction league, we have to give a round. You don't have to give a round, but you give rounds. You give rounds of what round you think the guy's going to get stopped in. If you don't give a round, they just give you the 6th round by default, right? But they give you my pick, right? I done this in the prediction league this week. I sent it off today. I've got Ryan Garcia. Seriously, people, KO in 5 rounds. KO or TKO in 5 rounds. That's my pick. That's what I'm thinking. All right, that's what I put down in the prediction league. Now, if I'm wrong, so be it. I was originally going to go with the 11th round for Ryan Garcia, but I'm thinking now early is the best chance for Garcia. And I'm thinking he can do this early. Experience is the key. Luke is due a big win. He is due a big win. He absolutely is. I just think that Ryan Garcia, from what I've seen, look, he makes mistakes, Ryan Garcia, in there. Make no mistake about that. He makes plenty of mistakes in there. He leaves his chin high in the air. He can get a bit overwhelmed sometimes. I think Luke Campbell, if he uses his Luke Campbell is southpaw. If he uses his jab effectively, then we could be onto something here with Luke Campbell. But I just think that Ryan Garcia's youth, his energy, and I'm wondering, lads, because no one's mentioning this. I remember a few people were saying, as far back as 2 years ago, that Luke Campbell was looking a little bit drawn at the weight. So I wonder how his weight making is going to be. Because Luke Campbell is quite big at the weight. But I'll be going with Ryan Garcia to win this fight. Now, I've been saying that ever since this fight was first talked about. I was saying I would have took Ryan Garcia to win this fight. I think there's even more reason for, or there's even more chance that we'll see Ryan Garcia winning a controversial decision, as Toby here says. The reason why I think Ryan Garcia might win this by a controversial decision as well, like I'll be picking him by KO, but I really think that he is Golden Boy's only goose at this stage. Canelo's gone. Oscar really doesn't have anyone. He's got Virgil Ortiz, who is an up-and-comer. He's got Virgil Ortiz, and he's got Ryan Garcia. That's it. That's literally it. So, for me, I reckon Golden Boy are going to want to make sure, and Golden Boy have quite a good record over Eddie Hearn whenever they put their fighters in there. I reckon Oscar De La Hoya will be making sure a CJ Ross scorecard comes out if we do get this to a decision. I reckon he'll be hoping and praying one of them judges gives a silly scorecard to Ryan Garcia. And I reckon a few of them might. Scoring will be similar to Wilder Fury 1. Campbell subtle boxing to offset by May the occasion, Rocky moment when he gets clipped by Garcia. Garcia split decision, 12 rounds. Yeah, I've seen a good few people say that they've got Ryan Garcia by a split decision. Good few people. Garcia keeps his chin high. Yeah, he closes his eyes a lot, which is not good. You shouldn't. I don't understand that when fighters close their eyes when they start throwing punches, because that's a recipe for disaster right there. You're going to get badly hit if you do that. Yeah, Ryan Garcia, he does make mistakes in there. I won't deny that. If Luce survives the early rounds, I reckon he will do so by taking a lot of damage. If he uses a jab to good effect, Evan, I think he could be okay, though. You know, we got to take that into consideration. If Luke Campbell really decides to move, use his reach, and use his jab, he could be okay. He could be okay offsetting Garcia. So don't think he would offer much danger to Garcia late. No, I don't think so either. Even if Ryan tires, Campbell will be in survival mode. And you'd be surprised, right? This is the one thing you got to remember. You'd be surprised how easy it is for a fighter to get a second win if he hurts a guy. Like, let's just imagine, right, that Ryan Garcia ends up hurting Luke Campbell late on in that fight. And maybe he's tired. That will give him his second win. I'm telling you that. That will give him his second win. That will definitely give him his second win. What's JP say? You got Ryan by robbery if it's close, or Campbell to win by or MD if he dominates. The one outcome I don't see is a Garcia stop. But really, that was the first thing I thought of when I heard this fight being announced first, was that it would be possibly Garcia stopping Luke Campbell. Wow. I like the way that everyone has like contrasting opinions. Like, some people are set on, Luke Campbell's going to win. He's going to stop him. Some are like Garcia, majority or close decision. It's a good one. Big up to Dan. Do you still think, do I still think White-Povetkin won't happen? I'm not holding my breath. I'm not holding my breath on that fight, mate, to be honest with you. I really don't. I can't see it. I really can't see it at this stage. I reckon Povetkin is a happy boy, and he's made his money. He's done what he's needed to do. He's made an absolute rake of money from boxing, and I wouldn't be at all shocked if Povetkin decides, you know what, I don't really need this rematch. I don't really need it. I think he might just decide to sail off into the sunset. Now, it could be wrong. We might see this, but the rematch now, knowing what we know, as in, like, knowing that it's going to be pushed back a good few months. It could be March. It's plenty of time for Dylan White to get over a few demons. He might get over these demons quicker than others. It means that I put it like this. I said it best in one of my videos I done about him, that I had a feeling the whole way through about the first fight that we'd see an upset. Even though I wasn't necessarily excited about the fight until we got closer to it, I always had a feeling that Povetkin could be dangerous in there. I always had that feeling. But this rematch, I don't have that feeling. I just feel as though it'll be bigged up as dangerous, but Dylan White should be able to get the job done. He should. What's up, G-Man? Hashtag G-Man's Rocks. Lions in the camp by Johnny Cash. Yes, Lions in the... Well, Lions might not be in the camp anymore, Johnny. Lions might not be in the camp no more. If Anthony Yard is looking to get a new trainer, we might not be seeing Lions in the camp. We might not be seeing them at all. We might be seeing someone else. We might be seeing... Bring in the camera. How's that? Bring the camera in. We might be seeing Adam Boot in there. Might be seeing Adam Boot. No Lions in the camp. Just whatever. Adam Boot doesn't really have any sayings. But we could be seeing a change, man. I reckon he will. But I reckon he might try and keep Tunde Ajayi in maybe some kind of advisory role or something like that. I think he might try and do that. But if he doesn't, then, man, I wouldn't rule it out. I'm thinking he's gone. I think Anthony Yard, I watched that interview with him. It's on his YouTube channel, where he was basically saying that he watched the fight back. Originally, he thought it was a robbery when, straight after the fight. But when he watched it back, he realized that, oh, yeah, it was close. And maybe what I'm thinking of is maybe he looked at what Tunde Ajayi was saying to him in the corner, because I'm sure Anthony Yard obviously understands boxing as well. Maybe he looked at what Tunde was saying in the corner and was like, yeah, maybe he doesn't know what he's really coming out with. Maybe I needed more than just lines in the camp, this, that, and the other. So I'm thinking based on that, maybe he's going to look and say, you know what, I don't need Tunde. I need someone else. I need someone who, if I'm in that situation, he's not going to come out and just be like, oh, lions in the camp all the goddamn time. It's going to be something meaningful to help getting through it. So that's what I reckon. UK, US divided in terms of how the fight is being viewed. I think UK far more familiar with Campbell's ability. Yeah. Oh no, definitely. But I said it from the start. I reckon Ryan's going to take Luke Campbell out. AA Blunt has Tanaka on points. I got Tanaka on points too. I tell you one thing, right? Ioka versus Tanaka, we're not seeing a knockout in that fight. No way in hell. Both guys are durable as hell. No way we're seeing a knockout in that fight. I think Tanaka is going to win. Personally, I'm looking forward to that fight, man. Luis Ortiz versus Dylan White. Yeah, I'd watch that. Big up to Dell. Big up to Blue Collar Sport TV every time. Man, big up to Dell. Big up to Dell. Thank you for the super chat. Hashtag G-Man's Rocks. I hope you are keeping well, mate. I hope you are keeping well. Man, in this crazy, messed up times, Ireland's just gone back into full-blown lockdown today. It's not good, man. It's not good. It's not good. Oh, did anyone see that video of someone getting arrested because she took a video of a hospital that was empty in Gloucester or somewhere like that? Crazy times we live in. Thought Yard came across pretty well. Yeah, he did actually. I was surprised. Always heard from people he's a pretty chill dude. I hope he rebounds and gets better. So do I, man. I thought that was I thought the interview was pretty good, and I thought like he came across as good. He came across as level-headed. But look, I don't have any issue with Tunde personally or anything like that. He's not my cup of tea, though. Oh, he's definitely not my cup of tea as a person. I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't be able to listen to that all day. He is a good trainer, though. He is a good trainer in terms of the technical side of boxing. But I just don't think he gives. I just don't think he gives sound advice. I just don't think that he just tries to be this whole, positivity and, lions in the camp, all this stuff. But when your fighter needs some good advice, you really need to give it to him. You can't just be saying that, man. Can't just be saying that. Ebony Bridges Twitter, OMG, off, man. Do you know what, right? I don't use much Twitter, right? I don't use a lot of Twitter, but I've been going on to it a little bit lately, right? And I think it was actually Dell who said it once, that Ebony Bridges, if you see her Twitter, it's just full of simps and lowlifes and degenerates, right? I said, right, I'm gonna look up Ebony Bridges' Twitter. I'm gonna read the comments on some of her posts. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. I know, seriously, people. It's cringy. They're all she posed like one picture. They're like, you need to open an OnlyFans account. I'd be the first one in the queue. Oh my god, Emily. Oh my god. I thought it would be bad, but I was like, holy mother of God. Where are these lads coming from? And some of them are Irish. So I reckon if you look at the names and you're like, that lad's Irish. You're like, holy mother of God. Oh Lord. Men in 2020. It's a sad state of affairs. But Ebony Bridges, look, I mean, she's going to make a killing. If she opens an OnlyFans account, she'll make a killing. And her boxing skills leave a lot to be desired. So let her do it, I suppose. I mean, I won't be going near any of that, but let the lads have their fun. Doing very well, brother. 2020, year of the warrior. That's it, bro. That is it. Got to keep going. I watched the video you done the other night, Del, about just the new year, basically, and 100%. We got to keep it going. We got to keep it going. I'm like you in a sense. I'm looking myself to actually start doing some investments, investing in. I've been looking at gold, but I'm still a bit unsure about how you do it. What are the right ones, and definitely the crypto. It seems like that's going to be a good option in 2021 for us guys. Definitely. Still upset about the Yard fight. He got robbed. No, I didn't think he was robbed. I thought it was close. I actually scored it a draw originally. Like I said, if I had to pick a winner, I would have said Yard. But let's say I thought Yard lost that fight more than Arthurs won it. It was there. You saw when Yard actually did start having the success. He was like putting it on Arthurs. He was having the success. He just didn't do enough of it. He just didn't do enough of it. If Andre fights Golovkin next, who do you see winning? Hearn said he wants to do that fight. Well, Demetrius Andre has been looking for that fight for years. I remember him calling Triple G out 4 or 5 years ago now. I mean, I remember Demetrius Andre calling out Triple G when Andre was down at 154 pounds. So he was down at 154 and he was still calling Triple G out back then. Right? Demetrius Andre has really been, for me anyway, a disappointment because I rate him. I think he's got good talent. I think he's got good boxing ability. I think that there's definitely talent there. There's a good fighter there, but Jesus, he just hasn't fought anybody. Like his best win is Vanis Martirosyan or Jack Kulkai, and he did not look good in that Kulkai fight at all. So I would go with Golovkin, tried and tested. I think Golovkin's jab would cause Demetrius Andre some problems. I think that Demetrius Andre, he slaps a lot with his punches. He's not got that. He just doesn't have that. If he really sits down and his shots like he did early on against Luke Keeler, he can definitely punch hard. Maybe not hard enough to get his respect, but definitely hard enough to, or maybe not hard enough to hurt Golovkin, but to get his respect. But Demetrius Andre, man, he's been, and see, I've been bigging him up for so long that he's just not fighting anybody. And it's going to keep going on like that, I think. He needs, you can't go from fighting Luke Keeler to just, and not look, you won every round against Luke Keeler. You should have got rid of Luke Keeler in 2 or 3 rounds. You can't just go from that straight into Triple G. And it makes me think that Eddie Hearn is really starting to regret his investment in Demetrius Andre, because who was he fights for? Kanandakwa, Selecki, Akabov, and then Keeler. I mean, really, and he's getting well paid for those fights, but really, man, it's not good. It's not good. It's not a good look. And I big up Demetrius Andre for a while, and your disappointment in Demetrius Andre is the same as yours with Billy Joe. Exactly, and like that fight would have been a stinker had it happened, because they're 2 slick southpaws. It would not have been compelling viewing, lads. It wouldn't have been compelling viewing at all. But I would have gone with Demetrius Andre in that fight. As it stands now, I probably still would go with Demetrius Andre, but Billy Joe has been massively disappointing too. I mean, Billy Joe should not be at 168 pounds. His best weight is 160. T-Tone, big up. Let's go. What we got here? Gilberto Ramirez versus Canelo G-Man. Yeah, Ramirez, I would probably... who's Ramirez really beaten? I rated Ramirez highly at one stage. Ramirez is another disappointment as well, because he's really not fought anybody. Because I remember watching him against Abraham. And I remember the first time I watched him was when he fought, what's the guy's name? Valasov or Vaskov? The guy who's fighting Joe Smith Jr. Ramirez beat him when he was just an up-and-coming prospect on HBO. And at the time, we didn't really know that Valasov or Vaskov, however you pronounce his name, would be as good as he is. So for Ramirez, done a good job on him. Now, to be fair, he did. That was at 168. Then he fought Abraham, and I thought he looked very good against Abraham. And I was really thinking, okay, we're on to something now with this guy. But he's really not looked... He's fought nobody's. Well, he's fought Jesse Hart twice, but Jesse Hart hasn't got much heart, or hasn't got much grit in him. because they were close fights, and Jesse Hart. I remember Jesse Hart hurt Ramirez in the first fight late on, and it was noticeable that he hurt Ramirez, and he just didn't do anything. He just kind of was like, "Oh, he's hurt. What do I do?" So Jesse Hart, he really, yeah, Ramirez. I would probably go with Canelo personally in that fight. Ramirez again. Ramirez can actually box a bit. You know, he's tall, but he can box a bit. He's solid. Like, he is solid. He's underrated, but I definitely think that he needs more work. I'd like to see him in a few more fights. Definitely. And I think there's a good fighter, a bit like Demetrius Andre. There's so many fighters out there who I saw fight for the first time like 5 or 6 years ago. And I saw them like Demetrius Andre and, you know, Gilberto Ramirez, and I thought, oh, these guys are going to be useful. These guys are going to be useful. And just year after year, it's like, right, Ramirez is fighting. Who is he fighting? Now he's fighting this guy from, I think he fought a guy from Ghana who was like 0, and like, you know, he was undefeated basically. I forget the guy's name, Hamidi or something like that. And he had a record like Christopher Lovejoy when you click on it on BoxRec. I remember that. He was fighting absolute no-hopers. I think he fought like 5 or 6 debutants in a row. And you know yourself that these weren't debutants who were turning pro with any great degree of fanfare. They were just, you know, who's next out of the crowd. So, I don't know. I'd like to see Ramirez fight someone decent, because he is a solid fighter. As Dale says there, Ramirez is a solid fighter. He's underrated, but needs to get a move on. He does. I mean, he was what, 25 when he won the world title? He's nearly 30 now. He's tall, rangy, and does the basics well. He can punch as well when he wants to. He's had hand issues. That's one thing I will say. I think he smashed his knuckle to pieces in his right hand, because he can switch. He can fight with both hands, can Ramirez. But Ramirez, I know he had trouble with his hands. I think he damaged his knuckle really badly a couple of years ago before he fought Abraham. Because if you look at some of the knockouts, he was laying guys out. Then he got that injury, and it was like he slowed down ever so slightly with the knockouts and the punching power. Yeah, no gyms for a month in Ireland, fuming. Yeah, man, I was only in the gym today. And I won't be going to it anytime soon. By the looks of things, it's bullshit. It is what it. I just don't. Oh, man. Oh, I don't want to talk about that, man. It's just, it is what it is. You know, 2021. Let's hope and pray 2021 is the year it ends, please, God. But definitely, I'll be looking at doing some investments 2021, irrespective of everything. Florian Marku, hype jobber, the best ever. Certainly not the best ever. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say the best ever, but definitely, oh, he's saying just a joke. I was wondering, actually, because it was like the best ever, certainly not the best ever. He's all right. This Ryland Charlton guy, he's not bad. That Joe Lawrence, I mean, he beat up a character. And when I say a character, I don't mean someone who was he's a good joke. I mean, the guy was playing a character, literally. The guy was a goddamn character. That's who he beat up. Beat the crap out of him. And he looked good doing it. He did. I'll give him that. He looked good doing it. So it'll be interesting to see how Florian Marku, that draw was BS. Absolutely. I don't know. That referee was doing a Terry O'Connor, as I said. That referee was doing his best Terry O'Connor impression in there. Jesus Christ. That referee was doing his best Terry O'Connor impression. Who else do we have? I seen a comment there from Ryan or Rob. Oh yeah, I clicked on it. I didn't even read it. Hello peeps, I missed a few of these. Big up to Robbie always. Hope you had a good Christmas, G man. Of course we did, bro. To be fair, Garcia is very good amateur pedigree. He does. Garcia is on them tacos. I do find those. Does anyone ever see those pictures of Ryan Garcia where it's like before he joined Canelo and after he joined Team Canelo, where he's kind of, his physique is all right, and then it's just like boom, he's like that. He's just like Mr. Universe. Garcia closes his eyes and leaves himself open after combinations. You won't want to be doing that against Luke Campbell. Not a hope. And has never fought anyone at the level of Campbell who was tough enough and smart enough to exploit. I think he will. You see, this is why I'm looking forward to this fight, man. I can't wait. I'm so happy as well, right? That the zone as a little kind of tricket. Literally, that's what it is. A little tricket to us UK and Ireland fans because we have to. They don't know the struggles. They don't know the struggles that we have to go through. You know, when the thing is, right, that guys in America, if there's guys from the States or Canada or somewhere listening to this, if we fights on over here, right, they start at like 10:30, 11 o'clock. They start at what time for you guys? 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock over in the US, depending on where you are. And then if there's another card on, you get that late in the evening. We're doing all-nighters to watch these fights. So for us to get a fight on at well, not normal, late enough, but 11 o'clock's normal time for us to get fights on, actually. We're lucky. We get this fight at a normal time, so we're happy. We're all happy. And DAZN is a good app, lads. I have paid my subscription there at the start of the month. It's cool. It's good. Mexicans always smash UK fighters when they go to the States. Joshua and Canelo. Yeah, it's not looking good for Campbell. Well, the law of averages, as they say. The law of averages, bro. The law of averages. How tall is G-Man? Barack Obama, the laughing egg. How tall is G-Man? He's about 5'11". He's about 5'11". Been following the Wire's investment. I need to look at some of the Wire's investments advice. If it's anything like his boxing, then it's worried. But Bitcoin, I have to look into Bitcoin. I was thinking of gold more so. Bitcoin and precious metals doing well. I have to look into some of these websites he's doing. I've got Intangibles not in the chat, but I'm going to do it anyway. Hey, it's the Wire. GamblersAdvisory.com. Remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this a second opinion from a complete stranger online. That is the best intro on YouTube. Man, Richard Dwyer, he is the G. Man, Richard Dwyer, he is a legend. Andre seems a bit butthurt in the studio when they were talking about, yeah, I seen that. I actually seen that he was trying to shut down Canelo's resume. It's like, mate, he's coming out right. In Canelo's last 3 fights, he's fought Danny Jacobs, Sergey Kovalev, and Callum Smith. Right? In your last 3 fights, you fought Luke Keeler, Selecki, and Akabov. I'll leave it there. But yeah, he definitely didn't seem to be enjoying the attention Canelo was getting. The Evening G just joined the live, but I can see Garcia taking it UD. Yeah, you know what it is? It's split in the chat. It really is. Like I asked lads earlier on in the chat who they have, and it's very split. A lot of people who are picking Garcia are picking him by controversial points decision. A lot of others are picking Garcia by points or stoppage. I can't see Garcia I can't see Campbell stopping Garcia, to be honest with you. I could be wrong, but that's one outcome I really can't. I can't see Luke Campbell stopping Garcia. To beat GGG, you have to gain respects, and to do that, you need to be a big hitter, which I believe which is why I believe Charlo beats him and Andrade don't. Yeah, definitely Charlo's a bigger puncher. 100% agree with you there. Charlo's uppercuts are lethal. His hooks, his uppercuts. It's Jamal Charlo. The names, the Charles, I struggle with them. I always get them mixed up. But Jamal Charlo, definitely, his uppercut is his best punch, I think. Jamal Charlo is a great uppercut. Triple G be getting hit by that. He'll know. Oh, he'll know. It looks like we'll get Billy Joe versus Canelo in May. A year in the making. How much do you think Billy Joe will get? 5-6 mil? Yeah, I reckon 5 or 6 mil. Maybe more, actually. Maybe more. Honestly, you probably get more than that, to be honest with you. But yeah, no, I reckon we're getting that. We're getting that next year as well, I think. Oh, Eddie Hall boxing. Who is the other guy he's fighting? What's the guy's name? Eddie Hall. I know who Eddie Hall is. Who is he fighting? After Bjornsson. Oh my good lord! Right, lads. Going a bit off. This is just funny for me, right? Eddie Hall versus that half-tour Bjornsson guy. Lads, that is going to be a laugh. Both those guys are they are gonna do some serious injuries to themselves. And I'm not talking about boxing as in concussive injuries. They are gonna pull ligaments left, right, and center if they get into that ring and start having a boxing match. Seriously. I can't see they are gonna injure themselves. They're way too big and bulky to box properly. They're gonna want to take some of that weight off. Man, they are gonna be pulling ligaments left, right, and center in there. And yes, lads, if you could smash the like button, Graham Taylor, big up to you, man, every time. If you could smash the like button, I'd really appreciate it. It helps your boy out. Yeah, it really does help your boy out there. But yeah, Eddie Hall versus Halftor Bjorns. I mean, one of them is going to end up with a serious injury, not from boxing, from boxing, but not from punches, just from swinging. Garcia Dale says Garcia is a talented fighter. I get he's not everyone's cup of tea, but a lot of people are letting their hate for him cloud the judgment. You see, that's exactly it there, right? I'm picking Garcia, but I do not, as a person, I think Garcia is a little diva. You know, so he's come. Remember during the summer, he was like, "Yeah, 200 and something grand's not enough for me. I want more, so I ain't gonna fight." I think he's a little diva, but I ain't gonna let that. Like, I never pick against someone just because I don't like them. I'll pick against them if I genuinely think they're gonna lose. I just can't see Garcia losing. You got Garcia to win points probably. I went for the stoppage. I do tend to go for that's one thing people have noticed about me. And I've only really started noticing that myself as well, that I do tend to go for knockouts a lot more than most people. Cash, what site do you use to invest? I'll have to read that from Johnny Cash, because I definitely, oh yeah, here we go. Gold and silver, the best investments you can make apart from property. Silver is something to get into, begin with, very undervalued, so no need to invest thousands. This is good, lads. This is good, because I'm looking wholeheartedly at investing in this. Wholeheartedly looking at investing. These investments, silver and gold. I just need to know because I want to know. I want to be doing it on websites I can trust. You know, websites I can trust. Same with affiliate marketing is something I'm looking at going down as well. But you want to get onto websites you can trust. So I'll definitely be looking at going and using some of them. But silver to start off with, we'll have a look at that. Eddie Hall can bang a bit, to be fair. He's dropped the low down. All right, but 360 is still mad heavy. And as Dale says, they'll be gassed after 30 seconds. All right, I tell you this, right? I remember one of the lads was on to me about this fight, the Eddie Hall versus Bjornsson fight, right? And not really a boxing fan or anything like that, but he was saying he reckons they'll get injured. And he said if you ever he watched the show called Behind the Ring. It's a wrestling show, but it's like an expose or what goes on behind the scenes of wrestling. Now, I'm not a big fan of wrestling. I haven't watched it in 15 years, right, since I was a kid. But apparently in the 90s, they got wrestlers, like proper jacked up steroid junkies, to box for a couple of rounds. And there wasn't a wrestler who didn't get injured. And I mean serious injuries. And they were only doing like 3 2-minute rounds. And there wasn't one wrestler who didn't end up with a serious injury. I reckon something like that might happen here. Yo, big up to Johnny Boy every time. Queenway will die. Luke about to prison for murdering. Oh, man. Big up to Johnny. Happy Christmas, or happy Christmas, Happy New Year, Dale and G, man. Man, big up to Johnny Boy every time. Big up to Johnny Boy. Big up to Johnny Boy's fight pass. Cool Hand is getting beat, fam. I can see it. I think he's getting battered. I think he'll get battered. Bitcoin is like, if I print 10 quid on toilet paper, will that be expected? The Bitcoin I don't know too much about, man. That's why I'm looking just at doing the silver and gold for now. The Bitcoin I'll have to do a bit more looking into. Mickey Teo would have battered John Fury. Man, that was funny. That was like literally, right? That was the only good thing to come from the goddamn lockdown, was seeing those call-outs. we ended up having to talk about them. Like I think I made a video about it as well, because that was how flipping little there was to talk about during the height of the lockdown when we had no boxing, that we actually had to talk a lot about bloody flipping, what's the guy's name? Mickey Teo and John Fury. Two lads going back and forth, two out lads going back and forth about this, that, and the other. And you see John Fury, he's not really talking much about Mickey Teo these days. John Fury. I haven't heard him talk about John Fury at all, or Mickey Teo at all. You know, it's like every time Mickey Teo makes the call out, John Fury responds, and it's just funny. It's just funny. But like, they were never going to do. John Fury was saying shit like, "Yeah, we'll do this. We'll do a bare knuckle in Billy Joe Saunders' backyard." Really? Come on. Really, we'll do it in Billy Joe Saunders' backyard, because that's real. Yeah, that's going to be 1-on-1. Got Garcia by dominant points victory. I think he drops Campbell but goes the distance. Yeah, I could see that happening. Early knockdown. Well, Campbell's been dropped early in fights before. He was dropped early against Linares. I think he was dropped in 2 rounds against Linares. He was dropped early against Mendy. He was dropped against, was it Coyle? Did Tommy Coyle drop him early? Dropped early a few times, has Luke Campbell. Remember, he's been dropped early a few times. I bet you Dell, but broke, brother. Gotta count the dates. Ah, man. We've all seen those guys who lift weights in the gym come into the box gym for the first time. They automatically think they can fight. They get bashed up and never come back. Seen it so many times, lad. Man, I've seen it's funny when you do see it. You see these, and you know what, right? They cannot punch for like, I remember sparring guys doing like body spars with guys who are, you could tell they're into steroids because you can see the acne on their back and all that. And you know, with body spar, you'll take a lot of shots in the gloves, and you can tell these guys are absolutely swinging for the hills, and they're hitting you. It's just like, all right, it's all right, happy, I'll take this. Look like you could hit harder, and they're getting knackered. Then you can tell these guys are absolutely throwing everything at you, but they're not punching correctly, not punching properly, and the shots you're feeling them, but they're just like, all right, grand, I'll take these. I'll take these anytime. Big up to Kenny. Shout out to G-Man from Scotland. From Scotland. Big up to Kenny every time. I'll catch up on a few of these other chats that I missed, because I missed a few of them. I missed a few of these. Did anyone see Teddy Atlas taking the piss out of the zone commentary in the Canelo fight? Atlas was saying how the zone commentators were creaming there. Oh, man. Yeah, Teddy Atlas isn't one to hold back, man. Teddy Atlas, he sure as hell ain't one to hold back. Man, big up to Teddy Atlas every time. He ain't one to hold back. I remember, he gets passionate. When Teddy Atlas gets on those rants, man, he is passionate. That's what I will say about Teddy Atlas. But man, Teddy Atlas is good. Joshua Fury 2 in 2022. That's implying we're getting the fight next year. Honestly, I don't want to sound negative, man. I really don't. But I just, at this stage now, I just can't see them. Unless they bring that fight on the road, I can't see them doing that fight in 2022 or 2021. Unless they bring it to Saudi Arabia. Unless they bring it to somewhere where they'll have crowds in, I can't see them doing that fight. Because it's just going to be so much. They're just going to want so much money. And they're going to lose so much from not having a gate. And like John here asks, do you think we'll see Joshua Fury in 2021? Who wins? I'd pick Fury if we did see it, but I don't think we'll see it, man. I think it's like, without going into too much details, right? It's like they're dangling a carrot over your head. It's like you get close to a bit of normality you get there, whether it be Ireland or the UK, and then they just come in and just, no, we'll close it up again because we care. So I hope we see this fight in 2021. I'd love to, if it was in the UK, I'd go to it. But if we do see it in 2021, I can't see it being in the UK if there's no crowds. It'd probably be in Saudi Arabia or somewhere like that where they're a lot more relaxed. They're a lot more relaxed. It's amazing, isn't it? Like countries like Dubai, Saudi Arabia, their rules are a lot more relaxed over certain things. Just without going into too much detail, they are already dictatorships, so they don't need to do certain things. We're going too much detail there. Cougar and Chisora said they believe. Oh my God! And Dave has hinted at it on his Instagram as well. Well, I don't follow him on Instagram. Oh man, please stay retired. But if you do come back, fight someone like what Magomed or someone like that. Man, we don't want to see Dave Allen no more. I mean, the guy is getting rocked by Usyk. The guy's punch resistance is shot. The guy, I'm sick. The only fun I've ever had with Dave Allen was when we were in the build up to that Christopher Lovejoy fight that never happened. That was funny because we were absolutely, I think me, Dell, Mark, everyone, we were just taking the piss out of that fight in every video we did. And if that fight had happened and it had been any way competitive or anything like that, or even if, God forbid, Christopher Lovejoy would have won, the post fights would have been absolutely brilliant. Like if Dave Allen had fought Lovejoy and say he lost or got dropped or something, man, I would have been struggling not to laugh in those post fights. That was the only good thing that Dave Allen did in 2020 was get that Christopher Lovejoy fight almost happen, because we had a lot of laughs. We had a hell of a lot of laughs about that. We really did. That was funny. Christopher Lovejoy. Christopher one-shot Lovejoy. He can't throw a straight right at all. That was funny. Ramirez versus Benavidez might be a good one. I'd go with Ramirez on that, man, to be honest with you. If I had to, I'd pick Ramirez there. Gee, man, what do you make of the incident? Didn't really look at it, to be honest with you. Didn't really look into it. I heard about it, all right. Oh, I heard about it. But I haven't looked into it too much, mate, to be honest with you. I did hear about it, though. I really did. But I have to look into it. It was a shooting with a guard and a civilian, but that's as much as I heard, mate, to be honest. Like, maybe you know more about it than I wasn't listening too much to it, to be honest. Billy Joe got a better chance beating Canelo. Canelo struggles against southpaws. Yeah, I think stylistically, Billy Joe would be a much tougher test for Canelo than a Triple G or someone like that. We've seen Triple G before. We know what we're going to get. I think that Canelo versus Billy Joe, it'd be an interesting one. It'd be an interesting one. I'd still favor Canelo, definitely. I'd still favor Canelo every time. Bill Haney and his sons are both racist. Can't stand the rubbish that comes out of Bill's mouth. I don't listen to Bill Haney, but, well, Devon's jinxed himself. That's what I will say. You know, what that comment he made during the summer, he's jinxed himself with that. You know, it's such a silly comment to make as well. But he's jinxed himself with that. Liam Williams versus Munguia. It's a good fight. I'd go with Munguia. Reese, to be honest, it's a good fight. I definitely go with Munguia in that. I think, oh yeah, we all want to see that, man. AA Blunt says he wants to see Dylan White give Ian Lewis in the rematch. Oh, and that was a rubbish fight when it did happen. I remember that fight. I remember that. Yeah, big up to Troll Network. Troll Network trolling again in the chat. Big up to you, man. Big up to you. Dave Allen versus Alan Babich. They want that fight. That's the fight Eddie Hearn wants. He wants Alan Babich versus Dave Allen. Right. I'd definitely be picking Alan Babich. Probably stop. No. Would he? Yeah, well, Alan Babich, very ferocious. Definitely ferocious. But would I pick by stoppage? Maybe, if he overwhelms Dave Allen. Dave Allen throws about 5 punches around when he's not in shape. Even when he is in shape, he's not that active. And yeah, look, I don't want to see. I don't want to see Dave Allen fight again. I'd rather see Alan Babich move on and fight some decent names. See how he gets on. I think he will lose. I think he will lose before he reaches any kind of decent level, to be honest with you. I think he's in the wrong weight division. Disagree with Canelo. Think GGG will give all against Alvarez. Oh, no. I think GGG will. Oh, I definitely do. 100%. But I still think that at this stage now, Canelo is he's in his prime. And I think the Triple G is still useful at world level. Very useful. Still a top middleweight. This probably be a super middleweight if they fight, to be fair. I'd probably do it at super middle, I would imagine. And I just reckon that Canelo would just have too much. with Billy Joe, it's different. You know, it's a bit of an unknown. If Billy Joe's in shape, there's a few little things there. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. That's kind of what I'm thinking there. Allen versus Babich, battle of the gimmicks. Or battle of the gimmicks. Yeah, man. Battle of the gimmicks. Babich versus Allen. Oh my god. Dave Allen. Oh, he will. He probably will come back. Do you know that? He probably will. He probably will. Although saying that, right, you know, if he had fought, imagine he had fought Christian Hammer. I reckon he would have won that fight. Because look at the absolute shape Christian Hammer came into that fight with. What was the guy's name? Yoka. I thought he'd be in really bad shape, and that was like a month after he was meant to fight the guy, Dave Allen. So he would have been an appalling shot. Well, he would not have even been able to outwork Dave Allen. So I reckon he probably would have won that fight, to be honest with you, Del. But Babich versus Zhilei Zhang. Oh, he's getting old, man. I didn't realize he's in his late 30s, that lad. I believe already got a comeback plan for AJ if he loses to Fury. Oh my god. When Eddie Hearn hired him, it was just so random. A Chinese heavyweight who's in his late 30s. Why? It just was so random to me why like Eddie Hearn signed him. But yeah, Zhilei Zhang. AJ beats Zhilei Zhang. Comeback of the year, become a 3-time world champion 2013. That would be a logical comeback fight, though, to be fair. AJ versus Zhilei Zhang. They would do that fight in China, probably. They'd probably do that in Macau or somewhere like that. You know? Probably actually would do a good audience, to be fair. Over in Macau or somewhere like that. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, or UAE can force their vaccinations onto small. Yeah, they can. They can. Which is one of the reasons why their restrictions aren't as authoritarian as they are over here. Oh man, I don't want to. It just annoys me. 2021, lads, will be a better year for all of us. Mark my words. Oh, I'll do a live stream tomorrow as well, by the way, because I won't be going anywhere tomorrow evening. So I'm going to try and get over the midnight curve by doing a live stream tomorrow. That's why I'm only going to do an hour one tonight, because I might try and do a 3-hour one tomorrow. If I can get from like 9 to midnight, I might even do a panel or something. I'd be happy. I actually might text Mark later and see if he wants to hop on. Not tonight, tomorrow, because I ain't doing anything that I know of. So there's not much we can do over here, to be honest with you, man. Oh, man. 2020. 20 goddamn 20. Before I read that, you know what, right? 2020 has been such a shit year for me. At the actual the best time of 2020, right? When I look back in hindsight, because of all the crap that's gone on, was actually probably the months of like March to the end of June, because it seemed like everything really went downhill after those months. And they were like the shittest months when the lockdown was at its strictest, and they were actually the months where I was probably enjoying myself the most. It's crazy. And I thought they'd be the shittest months of the year. But 2020 has been a write-off for your boy. As to 2021 is going to be better. You got a house party tomorrow, COVID party. Me and the lads are trying to sort something. All right, I was texting one of the lads today, but we're swimming upstream, Del. We're swimming upstream. I have some drinks on standby just in case, but I think we're swimming upstream at this stage. But we're trying to sort something, and that's why I'm keeping my options open. If we sort something, lads, probably won't be a stream. Just letting you know. But if we can sort something, then we're laughing. Then, or if we can sort something, then we're good to go. We'll do a stream. We'll do a late one. I want to actually see what they'll say, because I've seen that myself as well. Otto Wallin versus Dominic Brazil happen early next year. Okay fight. I think, yeah, that's an okay fight. I'd give it to Otto Wallin. I think Brazil is just way, way, way too easy to hit. Do you know what, right? I reckon Wallin might win that on cuts, Del, because he cuts so many of his opponents. It's crazy. He's a real slashing puncher. I reckon there'd be money on Otto Allen winning that fight on cuts. But does Brazil really? Brazil swells a bit. He definitely swells, but cuts. But I'd be looking at going. I'll be picking Valin. Brazil is slow. He's huge. He's an enormous target. He's entertainment. I'll give him that. He is entertaining. Otto Wallin is from Sweden. That's a country I'd love to move to. That's a country I'd love to move to. Sweden. That's a country I wouldn't mind moving to. The only one I would give Saunders a chance against is Charlo, but even then I'm not sure. Yeah, I'd probably pick Billy Joe over Charlo too, to be fair. Charlo was great though. Charlo was great. Charlo was great. I mean, he ticked a lot of boxes for me in that fight against Derevyanchenko. Valin versus... Yeah, it is. That's actually a really good fight. That's a really, really, really good fight. I actually wouldn't mind seeing that. I think they're trying to get the Hellenius... I see it was Coppinger, I think, tweeted that though, where he said he was thinking that he was thinking about what was the guy's name? He was saying, what was the fucking... Yeah, he was saying he was trying to get the Hellenius rematch over the line with Adrian Broner coming back. AB. Not a bad card, actually. Hope 2021 is better, G-Man. My son's missed out on GBs and Europeans this year. He is a national for... Man, I hate seeing that. Yeah, we're all missing out on things. You know, it's crap. And you know what, right? There were so many things I had, like, because the start of 2020 was actually quite good, you know. I was able to get to London for a couple of days at the start of the year, and we'd so many plans, like me and a few of the lads of going here, going there. I was gonna go, like I was starting to get like some media passes to go to a couple of shows and do some interviews here and in the UK before all this happened. And it's just like the channel grew a good bit, which is great. I think I got nearly 2K subs in a year, which is really good. But it could have been so much more. There was so much that should have happened in 2020 that just didn't. And it's just so flipping annoying. And then when I see other people as well, like, I mean, like, I've told the story about people taking jobs just to lose them because of the fucking lockdowns. And then being, you know, and I remember someone asked a question in the comment section of one of these, and I never flipping read it before I brought it up on screen. Do you remember? I'm sure some people remember that. And man, it's a good job I didn't have the camera rolling, because my face dropped when I seen that. But yeah, it is, man. It's been a rough year. It's been a rough year. And you know what, right? For the last like 4 years, every single year for me has got better and better and better. Because like when I finished college, I didn't have like 2 pennies to my name. And I actually got a job in the field I was studying. And then that was how, like 5 years ago, that's how that started. And the next year I got a new one, and it got better and better. 2017 was a really good year. And 2018 was even better. Last year had a few downs, but overall it wasn't a bad year. So I'm thinking like every year is getting better. And then 2020 came and gone. I mean, like, damn. It was just bad. G-Man, I got to sign out. I'll big up the JP. Should be here all stream tomorrow. We can discuss G-Man's 2020 awards. Yes, we will. If I get to do a stream, which I probably will, to be honest with you, we will do some Fighter of the Years. We will do some awards. I'll even do, might even let yous all pick on the community tab. We shall see. Kuzma wants to rematch the Bacoli. What's your opinion on that? Mercury? Okay. It wasn't a great fight. I thought that Kuzma won the fight, so I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch. Personally, wouldn't be against it. I would like to see them give it to him, but the problem was that Bacoli was the house fighter. You know how they go. He was supposed to go Tenerife in October for 2 weeks. Lockdown put an end to that, and I'm sorry to hear that. Mate. And you know, I was lucky in a way that I didn't book any holidays. Well, I had planned on going back to the UK in March because I had stuff on. And funny enough, right? It would have been probably the start of March. I think it was the start of March, end of February. I was about to book it. And I was literally about to book it. And someone, I think it was someone in work, told me, they basically said to me, they were like, yo, G, when are you planning on going? I think it was like the end of May. And I was like, yeah, it's probably going to be the end of May. And they were like, G, if you book it like this time, the price will slash. So I actually didn't book it. Like on that day, I didn't book it. And I was like, well, I'm delighted I didn't, because God knows what would have happened. How long I'd be getting the money back. And I don't have a great choice. Like I only fly Aer Lingus. I only fly Aer Lingus in Ireland. Like I will not. Ryanair is a joke company, and if you've seen what they've been putting on their websites, flying jab, I will never use. Well, I'll never use Ryanair anyway, but I'll definitely never use them now. Fuck that. 2021 is where shit will hit the fan. These lockdowns will stay until summer, where the government can't keep people inside. As soon as it gets cold again, they're bringing them back. Man, 2021 is going to be. I've got a feeling about 2021, and my feelings are normally quite good, man. When I really do feel we are going to get shit will hit the fan 2021. I think that there's only so much you can do, man. I think that even the most you know what will. I think we should be in a good place. I was saying to one of my friends in work, that in like 5 years, maybe not even, like 3 or 4 years, something like that, we'll be watching documentaries on 2020, and it'd be like, Jesus, can you imagine, like, it went on as long as, you'd be saying, like, how did we let it go on that long? That's what I reckon will be happening. They won't stop lockdowns until we, the people, do something about it. Why would the government stop? Exactly. They are the corporate payroll. Anytime the corps needs some money, they'll call bar. Man, that's why, like, I get so frustrated in Ireland as well when I see that. Yeah, Ryanair is basically Cash Alley. And I wouldn't mind, they were the ones who were like in the middle of April were saying we need to open the country back up, and now they're the ones saying you need to fly with you can't fly unless you have a jab. You know, Michael O'Leary's a scumbag. He really is. When will nightclubs reopen? Man, I really hope soon, because I need a good night out. It's nice going to house parties, but I need a good night out, because I don't, look, put it like this, right? Your boy doesn't use date naps. He's much better in person, if you know what I mean. And your boy doesn't use date naps. Don't like them. Much prefer person. So that's why I'm missing, the nightclubs. Make it out what you will. The 2020 award, Pundit of the Year, goes to Harley Quinn for his unbiased, in-depth analysis. Yes, Harley Quinn, Pundit of the Year. Big up to Big Dan. Thoughts on CBDC? Dan, I haven't looked up CBs. Give me a second. I'll do it for you now. What is CBDC? It's the oil. I thought it was those oils. Is it the oils, or is it the central bank digital currency? I must look it up. You could elaborate with me if you want in the chat, bro. Oh, here we go. G-Man, who gets the mug? I will give, if I'm doing a live tomorrow and we do a 3-hour live, I will send that mug to someone. I don't know. I'll do it randomly or something there, or I might say something like that. But yeah, we'll give that away. It could have been said so much more. G-Man said, G-Man, leave the airport by himself. It could have been said so much more. Maybe I missed the part of that. But if it's about what I think it is, then, man, fuck Michael O'Leary. If you think 2020, no. I'm not going into 2020 with that. Not 2020. I'm not going into 2021 with that. Fuck that. No way. G-Man, more of a one-night stand type of guy, I see. No, not even that. But like, I've met and had like flings with loads of girls I've met on nights. I'm not like, no. Well, I just don't like date naps or anything like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. G-Man, where do you go clubbing? Honestly, bro, I mainly stick to Swords, where I'm from. There's a really good place called Chalk. There's a good place called, well, It's changed names several times. I still call it Empire, but it's called Betsy now, and that's actually good fun too. There's a few places. There used to be, you see, so this is one thing I always say, right? This is what annoys me so much about where I'm from. Swords was fun back in the day because you had plenty of places to go. Like you'd walk around Swords on a Friday night, you had loads of places to go. Whereas now there's really only 2, maybe 3. They're really not fun. It's not as fun as it used to be. Like you go around Swords on a Friday night, you had loads of places. Like we used to go to a place called Rouge on a Friday night. Then we go to the right venue on a Saturday, and then we go to the cafe bar, which is another part of Swords, on a Sunday. Whereas now we one of them is still around in 2020. One of them is still around, and they were gone long before 2020 came about. I think Rouge was finished in 2014, and I think the right venue finished in 2019. But it was they were dead long before that anyway. And the cafe bar is still around, but it's absolute shit. I mean, like they won't. I remember I went with a couple of my friends last year, right? And we've been going there for years at the time. And the bouncer wouldn't let my friend in, who was 25, right? And she knew, because she knew like these people's brothers, that they let 15-year-olds in without IDing them. And my friend, who was 25, and like no disrespect, right? I don't mean this in a disrespect way. She looks 25. And they were letting 15-year-olds in with no ID, but they wouldn't. And we've been going there for years. So yeah, Swords has gone to the dogs, but they'd be the place I go. Or I go Malahide. Malahide's good crack. Malahide's good fun. And the girl, if anyone is from Dublin, know Malahide. The girls in Malahide, they are some nice girls. They are the girls from Swords. Most of them are write-offs at this stage, but in Malahide, they're pretty cool. Flying with Ryanair, taking inflatable cushion seats. I haven't flown a Ryanair in about 10 years. And I mean, I thought, Jesus, I wouldn't fly with them anyway. I wouldn't fly with them anyway. But yeah, I remember flying with them to, where were we going? I think we were going to France about 10 years ago, and we flew Ryanair because it was cheaper. Damn. That was the scariest flight I ever went on. Central Bank Digital says, based on new currency that will be brought in once the pound becomes worthless. However, we don't join this system, buy alternate cryptos, gold. That's the route I'm looking to go down, man. I was saying earlier in the chat, I'm looking at making them investments. I'm looking at investing in gold and silver. The cryptos I'm looking at, I need a little bit of help on that. I'm hoping someone will kind of point me in the right direction. But I'm definitely looking at investing in gold and silver moving forward, 100%. I've heard good stories about it. I have to look at a few of the Wires videos, but I've heard good stories about it, man. And as Dan says, the dollar's basically worthless anyway. They printed trillions a lot this year. Yeah, man. I'm definitely thinking investments are the way forward. The way forward, definitely, are the investments. Lads, I'm going to call it here. Until, I think I see a comment. There's a comment there. It's just not popped up on my screen yet. I'll read 1 or 2 more comments and then we'll call it there, actually. If Dublin reopen before London, possibly meet up for a club night. Man, always open to meet fans anytime. I hope they do. I can't see it. Over here is really like bad. Bad for like people just don't seem to want to question anything over here. They listen to that little fat tubby, you know what? What's his name? Tony Houlihan, who doesn't seem to know anything about anything. Yeah, it's not good times over here, bro. We need the amateur game back as soon as possible, man. But 100, man. The amateur game, seriously, we need that back ASAP. It's going to ruin boxing for years to come because we won't have any good amateurs coming through, and boxing gyms are absolutely being destroyed here. And well, we don't produce many good fighters over here, but still, we need to get the amateur game back up and running. Cheers for the stream, G, man. Now, big up Graham every time. Big up to Graham Taylor every time. Lads, I am going to call it here. Like I said, right, I will probably get some videos out for you tomorrow. In terms of, maybe even today, actually, I've got a spare. But I'll definitely get some out for you tomorrow. Depending on my plans, if we can source a house party, I won't stream. No, just I want to go out. But if we're not, we'll do a late one. We'll do a late one. If you have Twitter, you can follow. I do. I've only really started using Twitter, Dan, to be honest with you, man. Someone asked me about Ebony Bridges earlier in the chat, right? And God, it was funny. I'd only just, like, literally in the last day, I think because Dell reminded me or something like that. I was listening to one of Dell's old videos on it, and I said, right, I want to see how bad the simps are. Oh my God. Ebony Bridges, it's that bad. Boom. Think we got you there, Dan. Think that's it there. But I barely use it, man. Happy New Year, G-Man, hashtag G-Man's Rocks. Big up to Dell, big up to Helen, every time. Troll Network, Dan. Lads, I'm going to call it here. You're probably going to talk to me tomorrow evening. Salute. See you tomorrow. That's the plan. If I can't source a house party, then we're doing a 3-hour live. I might text Mark or someone, see if we get some guys on. Big up to all you lads. I'll talk to you after. Lads, peace. Enjoy your evening.